Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Sean. I'm one of the co-founders of ROM Tracker. This video is going to be a brief demonstration on how to use our software, its utilities, and how it might be useful for you. So a little background, I'm a physical therapist by nature, and I was looking for something that helps make my job easier. As we started creating this, we realized the utility and how this could be used across several different industries aside from just physical therapy. So we hope this will be useful for you as well, whether or not you're a clinician. But let's go ahead and just dive right into things so you can see how things look. So as you can see, I'm on our website, app.rangeofmotiontracker.com. This is our landing page. It's supposed to be more informational than anything. So let's just go ahead and sign right in. So we have two different options to sign in. I'll sign in at the top right-hand corner. And now using Google or Microsoft as a quick sign-in is usually a little bit easy. Just sign in with your pre-existing credentials. You can enter in your own specific email address. It's going to prompt you for a little bit more verification. I'm just going to go ahead and hit sign in with Google. Since I've already signed in with my Gmail account, it's just going to take me right here. You might have to go through a couple more steps for you to get here. So what we're looking at is the landing page right here. Since I've already been using this before, I have a couple of patients signed up. Now these are the two co-founders that you're looking at, myself and Paul. And so what we're going to do is we're going to imagine that this is your first time signing up, and we're going to go ahead and add patients. We're going to go ahead and get started here. So under our add patient, first and foremost, ROM Tracker is completely HIPAA compliant. So as you start to add in patient information, don't worry about that getting kind of lost out in the ether of the internet. We've gone through the necessary steps to make sure that we are HIPAA compliant. So we're going to go ahead and put in the first and last name. That way we can just keep track of who we're measuring. We also can enter in the email. I would recommend using the email, and we'll talk about a couple case uses as to why that's the case. But we'll go ahead and enter in the patient from there. And since I'm already entered, I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel because we're going to use my account right here. Okay, so now we can filter upcoming or recent scheduled patients or sessions, but we're just going to stick to this page right now for example purposes. As you can see, I've scheduled an upcoming session right here with myself, and when we go ahead and start going over how to create sessions, we can hit start, which we will go over in this video, but why don't we just go ahead and see what scheduling looks like. So say I wanted to go ahead and schedule myself for this upcoming Monday, and we'll say 1 o'clock, and we'll say PM. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule. So that schedule's right on there. Now, if I want to go ahead and send an email to the patient or to the customer, what I would do is I would hit copy link. I would set up my own email, and I would go ahead and send that over. We've gone ahead and trialed utilizing this software to send patients or clients an email. Most of the time it winds up in their junk box, and it just winds up being another form of communication that they're not really sure where it's coming from or where to look for. So we found the best case use for our software is just to go ahead and plug the link into your own existing email. That way the patients have this as a trusted source. Nothing's getting lost in transition. Okay, so these are my upcoming sessions now, but since we're here, we're going to do a local session. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. So we have three different options for utilizing this software. The first one is an in-person assessment. That's what we're going to do in this video, so we'll go ahead and skip that for now. Review media. If you remember back to the landing page, there's a couple of movements that we've uploaded, and Range of Motion Tracker is tracking the movement. So all you need to do is you need to have some media, whether or not it's a picture or it's a video, and you can track, for example, hip flexion, and you just need to make sure all the landmarks are visible, and this will track that for us. We'll go ahead and skip that. The video call, this is something that is pretty revolutionary and we're pretty excited about. If you want to track someone's range of motion and you're not in the same physical location, say I'm in South Carolina right now and I have a patient or a client in California, we could set up a video call where I'm tracking their range of motion right from where I am and right where they are, and we'll have the same output as we would with an in-person session. We find this to be our best utility for our software. We're really excited about this feature, but since we're just looking at myself, we're just going to go ahead and do the in-person session here. So now we're here. So this is our measurement software. So we're going to go over things step by step. Up here at the session, you see this green. This means that we're in progress, so the session is currently happening. It has my name, so we know that we're assessing the right person. And over here, there's a timer function. Now, this is something that's unique, and I think it's pretty cool, and it has several utilities. First of all, if you're a patient or if you're a clinician measuring patients and you're looking to utilize RTM, timing is a part of that. So keeping track of the time is important, and you can utilize range of motion tracker's timer to utilize for your billing purposes. Otherwise, you might have different utilities for this timer. Say you employ a tester and someone who's measuring several people, and you want to make sure they're being efficient with their time. This is another way you can keep track of that. This has several utilities. Use it how you like. We like it as a feature. So underneath here, this describes what we are measuring. Okay, so this just has a measuring cervical spine, lateral flexion, left. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the different body parts that we can measure. We can measure the cervical spine or the neck, the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, the trunk, the hip, and the knee. Those are all the different areas that we can measure. And since we're in the cervical spine, we can look at the different movements that we can measure. Okay, so these are all going to be individualized based on the body part that we've chosen. Now, most of our measurements are going to have a left and a right based on what we're measuring, so that's what we're looking at. And say we're not a clinician. Clinicians know what this is. People who are not clinicians or testers might not know what this is, so let's go ahead and hit this guide button right here. This is a drop-down menu that talks about what we are measuring. So instructions, this is what we're relaying to our patient or we're relaying to our client. We need to tilt your head to the left, bringing your left ear towards your shoulder. The visibility, this describes what we need to see on the patient when we're doing the measurement. So ensure that the nose and both shoulders are clearly visible. That's what our software needs to make sure that we're getting good measurements. And the positioning, you need to be facing the camera with your shoulders visible. Okay. And then underneath there, you have the target ranges. So 45 degrees is good. Fair is 35, poor is 15. That will be more evident as we start collecting the range of motion. Okay. So why don't we go ahead and get the guide out of there, and let's go ahead and start our camera. So we hit the start button. I just make sure that it's on the correct camera right here, which is my my computer camera. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start. And here I am. Okay. So as you can see, we're doing the left cervical lateral flexion. Again, if you're not sure what that is, just hit that guide button. I'm going to get rid of it because it makes my screen a little bit bigger. Okay, so when we measure these things, what we're going to do is we're going to follow the instructions. I'm going to tilt my head to the left. So there's a couple different options that we had when we were choosing this software. We could just go ahead and collect the maximum range of motion, which on the surface level, that sounds pretty easy. However, that doesn't account for if a patient is in a bad position and we're still measuring, okay? So what we've decided is using a capture button is most appropriate, so that way we can position the patient, make sure that they're in a good position, and then make sure we capture the appropriate range of motion. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and measure the left lateral flexion. So I'm gonna bring my left ear towards my left shoulder, keeping my shoulders even, and I'll hit capture. You notice the screenshot capture notification come up on the top. And if we look over here on the right side, the cervical spine, lateral flexion, left has been measured. Okay, so just in case as you get more body parts as we're measuring, and you're not sure, did I measure that? Did I not measure that? You can reference this on the side. So let's keep ourselves even. We'll go ahead and choose the right side, and we'll do the same thing. But let's say I need a little bit more time. So I click capture, it immediately captured, but let's say I need a little bit extra time just to set myself up. We have this timer function on the bottom right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to 3 seconds, and you're going to notice that the whole screen will flash and show the time that I have available. So I'm just going to use that time to set myself up. I'm going to hit capture. I have 3 seconds. I set myself, and I've captured that range of motion. And you see that populates on the right here. Okay, so these are pretty easy for me to go over right here. So why don't we go over a movement that's going to be a little bit more challenging and require a little bit more work, which is my shoulder. So shoulder abduction, my clinicians understand what that is. You might not know it as a tester if you're not a clinician. So let's go over that. So the instructions, this is again what we're relaying to the person who's being tested. We're going to raise our left arm straight up to the side as high as possible, bringing your arm towards your ear. However, the visibility, you see we need the left hip, the shoulder, and the elbow to appropriately capture this range of motion. Where I am right now, I don't have my left hip, so I'm going to have to back up. That's where we're really going to use this timer function, at least for what I'm measuring right now. And then we're facing the camera directly with our upper body visible. We check all those boxes, but I'm going to go ahead and set this to 5 seconds. Okay, I'm going to make sure I have enough time to get out of the way. I'm in a chair right now, so I'm going to scoot that out of the way as I get myself ready to perform this range of motion measurement. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have 5 seconds to get into position. I want to make sure my left hip and all those other body parts are visible, so I'm just going to go ahead and back up here. But I have 5 seconds to do that, so I'll hit capture. Okay, and we go up and out to the side. Great. So that looks good. Now you might notice I have good range of motion. I don't really have any problems. So as we do the right side, why don't we go ahead and show what a deficit looks like. We'll show what it looks like when the person's not achieving full range of motion. Same thing, we got 5 seconds. I've just switched it to the right side. So let's go ahead and hit capture there. 5 seconds, and say I can only get to about there without pain. Okay, so I'm gonna bring my chair back over. What we immediately notice on the right side is there's a red now, and that red shows that we're not where we need to be with our range of motion. And in our drop down, we can see that the right abduction range of motion isn't where it should be. Okay, so why don't we show what this looks like? Say I'm done. Say I've gotten all the measurements. Normally we'd have more, but for now we'll say I'm done. I'm going to hit download PDF report, and I'm going to go ahead and open that. And what it's going to show is range of motion assessment, and it gives the date. That's today. And it shows that we did 4 measurements. 3 were good, 1 was fair. That would be our right shoulder abduction. So we scroll down. Our lateral flexion, we're within that good range of motion. 45 degrees, we want to be at least 45, so we're good. The right went a little bit farther. Hooray for me. All right, and we scoot down. Now we got the shoulder abduction. On the left side, it was good, but on the right side, our quality of movement was fair. Okay, so this is where some of these short-term and long-term goals are. Our long-term goal is always going to be that full range of motion. So that's 180 degrees. But our short-term, if we want to start defining where this person should be in the short term, we want to try to get them to about 152.4. This is something that our software is automatically going to calculate for you. If you'd rather calculate it yourself, no problem. There's an option to toggle this on and off. Okay, so that's what the PDF report looks like right from the session. Since we're still in our session, I'm going to close that out. As you can see, we still have our timer going right there, and we're still in progress. On the top right-hand corner, I'm just going to go ahead and hit end session. Okay, this is going to end the session. I'm okay with that. We give it a second for everything to collect, and then we're going to bring us to a landing page showing us our summary from this previous session. Okay, here we are. Alrighty, so say I forgot to generate that PDF. That downloaded on my computer, but say I ended that session. I said, shoot, I forgot to regenerate that PDF. We have an option right here just to go ahead and regenerate that for us. However, this gives us some availability to write in our own notes. What I like to do is we have this AI summary feature. I'm just going to go ahead and click that. And that's going to bring up when the session was, how many movements were recorded, what was recorded, performance overview. That's where I like to write in right shoulder pain to note that the patient had pain with that session. I can hit save notes. Now that's going to be attached to this session. Now I can include the goals in the PDF. Since I'm a clinician, I do like doing that. And I could just hit regenerate PDF. I bring that up, and now it has those therapist notes, and it has those same measurements that we talked about before. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Alrighty, so if we ever wanted to delete a session down at the bottom, we delete the session. The only problem is once you delete it, you can't bring it back. We rarely recommend that you do this, but if for some reason you need to do that, that's how you do that. So why don't we go ahead and click back to our dashboard here. And we'll go to me as a patient. All right, so that's, if we hit start, that's how we start a session, but we can also view my snapshot as a patient. So my last 2 sessions, now I did do a session right before this. So what this is looking at is the change from one session to the other. And so left cervical flexion, there's some that have lost range of motion, and that just might be because I was moving a little bit. Those are within our normal ranges. What is helpful for us to look at is the right shoulder abduction. We've had a gain of 2 degrees since we looked at that last. So the motions that we're missing movement from, this is going to be a really good feature because you can track the progress or lack thereof based on your sessions. Okay. And now underneath this, you have the exercise programs, okay? So what I can do is I can go ahead and pull this up. I've already created this for myself, but based on my deficits, I can go ahead and set a program. And each one of these movements, it has links to show the patient how to do these exercises. It's a home exercise program for the patient. Since they were missing shoulder range of motion, I went ahead and set this up. If I want to edit, what I can do is I can choose, okay, let's use just the right side. How many sets, how many reps, how often are we holding, say don't push into pain, etc. And all of these exercises have a hyperlink again, so when the patient receives this, they'll know what to do, and hopefully after a few times they'll just understand their exercises and they know what to do. Now, something that we are working on right now, and it should be out by the time this video is out, is a way for the patient to select that they have completed their exercises. So this is going to be useful data, again, for clinicians that are using this for RTM purposes. It shows their contact point. Now, if you're just an employer and you want to make sure that the patient is being up to date with their homework and their exercises, this is a great way to do that. Okay, so that's our home exercise program. And then down here, it shows our upcoming schedules. We could go over our schedules in the past, or our sessions in the past, and then our session history down here with the time, etc. This one, I just left it open, so that's why it's so long. So hopefully you've got a little snapshot on how to use our program here. We're very excited about its utility. Again, we have the utility from a clinician standpoint, but we also have data capture for, say, manual laborers that we want to make sure that we prevent their injuries. This is something that is not meant to replace a clinician, but more a tool to utilize. So we already use a goniometer in the clinic to help measure the range of motion. This is going to be something that shortcuts that. Very excited about the utility. If you have any questions based on what you saw today and you want to talk to us more, email us at info@rangeofmotiontracker, that's romtracker.com. Once again, that's info@romtracker.com. We're looking for all feedback, and we're looking to make this the best platform out there and the best program. So we hope to hear from you, and we hope to understand your needs and hopefully match those. So thank you for your time, everybody, and I hope you have a good one.